Hello and welcome to Recreate It WrestleMania 7 by FRW. Today we're going to break down the WrestleMania 7 card action figure form. Before we begin, just so you know, I was told in a few comments that some of my facts have been inaccurate when it comes to the actual pay-per-view. I do apologize for that. I will, from going forward, from here on out, focus solely on the action figure aspect. Not so much the history. If you want history, there's tons and tons of YouTube channels that will give you the video play-by-play analysis. I'm going to focus just on the action figure side of things. So with that being said, a few facts though that I do know are correct is WrestleMania 7 took place on March 24th, 1991. Took place in the Los Angeles Memorial Sports Arena. If you look back in the history, it was supposed to be in a different venue. It was supposed to hold a lot more people, but low ticket sales or allegations of threats for Sergeant Slaughter led to them to go to a different venue. Choose your theory there. This was Hogan's 6th of 8 main events. The attendance was only 16,158 fans. There were 36 in total wrestlers at this event. 2 participated in a dark match, which I will not be counting because it did not make TV. As you're aware, it has to be making TV. So, of course, at the end of it, we're going to figure out the stats. If you've been watching these videos 1 through 6, then you kind of know I don't include managers or valets or non-wrestlers. I might include managers in the future. That was suggested to me. The only thing was managers are probably going to have like one attire look, and to my knowledge, most managers usually chose to wear different clothes throughout the year, including throughout events. So the chance of a Bobby the Brain Heenan having about 4 or 5 different outfits in figure form, pretty rare. I mean, I'm seeing a Jax and a Mattel white Bobby the Brain Heenan attire. Of course, I don't think he was probably on his way out of this card. I don't even think he's at this card. But yeah, so that's why I didn't include valets or managers. I know Miss Elizabeth and that kind of stuff. Again, no custom figures. Somebody did ask me though, and going forward, starting in WrestleMania 10, we're going to divulge a little bit more into custom appreciation. Now, I've got a few customs from people. I haven't asked their permission to give them credit. So until I get their permission, I won't give them actual credit, but I will show off the figure. In fact, if somebody who is a customizer wants a little exposure, my channel is not massive, send me a picture of one of your greatest customs, and we can do custom appreciation at the end of each show. Just try to help build a little community and whatnot and show your hard work. Myself, I'm not much of a customizer. Best I can do is head swaps, arm swaps, biceps, that kind of stuff, maybe legs. But for cracking torsos, painting, sculpting, sanding, chiseling, whatever it may be, that's just something I just don't have the skills for. But if you do and you want to, show it off a little bit, obviously you can show it on your own YouTube channel, but I will show at least one custom figure going forward at the WrestleMania 10 spot. So we're still a few weeks away from that. Again, I'm still trying to make this thing a little bit more polished. I'm still trying to figure out how to add music to this. Still trying to figure out if I should add any videos. Some people say I should cut back on too many images so I don't get like a copyright infringement. So that's where I'm at with that situation. Anyway, we're on to the FRW Figure Recreation Wrestling WrestleMania 7 edition. Let's begin. So WrestleMania 7 kicked off with the opening match of the Rockers, Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels versus Haku and Barbarian. Now, we can recreate this match. It is not accurate. If you look at the attires there, I mean, Barbarian's close, but he's missing his boot things, his boot covers. Haku, I think, was in black pants by this time. Yeah, he's in blackness. Only one I can find was purple. So, and then of course the Rockers are in a black with a yellow kind of design, whereas Mattel really only produced the Rockers in their yellow. I know the Jax had a little bit more detail to theirs, a little more deco, if you will. So no, we cannot recreate this. On to the second match of WrestleMania 7. We have the Texas Tornado versus Dino Bravo. Now, if you can pony up the funds for it, you can find a Kerry Von Erich figure. The attire is not the same. Obviously, this is the Kerry Von Erich with the blue robe. Around this time, he was just wrestling specifically as the Texas Tornado, which Mattel did make a Pacific Texas Tornado attire, but it's black and yellow. I know it goes for quite a bit, especially if it's mock. If it's loose, I just personally sold my loose one for about 125 bucks on eBay recently. Just because, you know, as figures get older and whatnot, I'm not one to display them in cases, and when they start to wear down, I kind of get worried that they're going to break, and I'd rather have somebody have it throughout the, you know, throughout the age of time, the annals of time, than for me to have to, you know, for it to break and be worthless. But as you can see, Texas Tornado versus Dino Bravo, you can recreate it. It will not be accurate. Then on to WrestleMania 7, match 3 was the British Bulldog versus the Warlord. Now, it was a little tough to find this, the picture, because they wrestled each other also at SummerSlam, I think it was. And I do believe when he wrestled at WrestleMania 7, it was in black trunks, not with the little Warlord design. So, the British Bulldog, from the look of it, it looks like it's his classic superstar look. The hair is there, the dreadlocks are there. Of course, you know, this is mid-match when he's got a frizz going, but we're not including the hair. But as far as the knee pads, I don't think those knee pads were the accurate ones. So all around, it's not accurate. Warlord is not accurate. You can recreate it, it's not accurate. On to the fourth match. It was the Nasty Boys, Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sags versus the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart. You can recreate it, and for the most part, it is accurate. The Nasty Boys didn't really change up their attire. I know in WCW they changed their colors a little bit more. It seemed like in WWE they just, or WWF, excuse me, they kind of just kept it with that graffiti-looking spray with the Nasty Boys garb. And then you had the Hart Foundation, which that is a very accurate representation of the Hart Foundation. I can't see if the hearts are pink, but given that they're wearing a black singlet, I would assume black on black would not work too well. So I'm assuming that they're going to have the pink in that situation. Then on to the fifth match, the Jake the Snake Roberts versus Rick Martel, the blindfold match, and Jakks Pacific right there. There it is. If you wanted to recreate this match, it is accurate. That is the attire he wore. There might be some deco missing. It may not be, you know, but again, for the time, toys weren't as accurate as they've become. So, but this is pretty much the representation of their WrestleMania 7 match right here. So it is accurate. And the streak begins. The Undertaker versus Jimmy the Superfly Snuka. And there it is, right there. You have the recreate, and it's pretty accurate. You've got Undertaker right there in the gray. You got Jimmy Snuka with his boots on. If you look closely, those are boots. He did wrestle with boots. They're more of a brownish color instead of the leopard print. I do believe that is just a deco situation where they just realized they couldn't afford to do all of it. So, you know, liberties. The attire is pretty much there. Of course, there's a headband on Jimmy. There's not a headband. You know, he might have had a headband in the entrance. So, but pretty much that is an accurate attire right there. I mean, Undertaker's in gray. That's his debut look mostly. That was his more zombie-looking, you know, dead man look before he would start to let the hair out in front of his face. So it is accurate. Then on to the seventh match, the Ultimate Warrior versus Macho Man Randy Savage, the retirement match. And again, because of Mattel, like Jakks earlier, who made the blindfold match, Mattel said, here you go. You want Randy Savage in that attire? You want Ultimate Warrior in that attire? You can recreate this match and have 100% accuracy. Now, these are not cheap figures by any means anymore. Even when they first came out, they were quickly gobbled up in the pre-order department. Nowadays, you might find a beat-up Macho Man from that attire. To find a pristine one, most collectors know he's worth a lot. That was, if I remember correctly, that was his first ever figure announced for Mattel. In fact, I do believe he showed that off before his death. I remember hearing the excitement of it. People were going crazy because Jax had never tackled a Macho Man Randy Savage. And then later on, we got the Ultimate Warrior to match from the attire, and it had the Macho on it, had everything. We didn't have Rick Rude quite yet when they made the Ultimate Warrior, or when they made the Rick Rude. He was missing, I believe, the Ultimate Warrior on the back, but then Ultimate Warrior came along. We'd had some Jakks specific of Ultimate Warrior, but this knocked it out of the park. Comes with that jacket. That jacket is not plastic. It is a nice material. Holds up very well. But yeah, if you wanted to recreate this match, dig into your bank account. Then the 7th match, match 8. Currently, we were so far doing so good, but unfortunately, we do have a void match. Kenichiro Tenryu and Koji Katao. I did find a Tenryu figure in the Japan area, but there is no Koji Katao figure. Koji Katao, I do believe, was famous for no selling an with Earthquake, I believe it was, and started just basically shooting on him. So he started shooting back, and he basically flipped the crowd off and left. But again, I'm divulging only to action figures, so no Koji Katao figure. Demolition, I've shown a couple pictures of them. Obviously, this one's pretty good. The reason I showed the 3-pack of the Jakks is because it was Demolition Smash and Crush, not Accident Smash, during this match. So until they make a Koji Katao, until somebody forgives him or decides to reach out to him and sign a figure, this match goes to the void. And then we've got the 8th match, the Intercontinental Championship. The challenger was the Big Boss Man versus the champion, Mr. Perfect. And these two figures right here represent it. The Network Spotlight Big Boss Man and the Legend Series 3 Mr. Perfect. In fact, you can't see the back of it, but it was a weird kind of colored yellow singlet. And I always wondered why it wasn't black, because I always seen him wrestle with black most of the time. And I always thought, I thought that was like, oh, cool. When he came out back at the Royal Rumble of 2002 and he had the black, and I saw an earlier WrestleMania opening, I was like, oh, cool, he's wearing that tire? He must have brought it back. But no, that's an entirely different singlet with a different color. So it is accurate, and you can recreate it. And then on the 10th match, you have Earthquake versus Greg the Hammer Valentine, and these are the perfect ones right here. Mattel has created the Legend 7 Greg the Hammer Valentine and the Mattel Earthquake. Of course, Earthquake, has his natural disasters attire as well. We're getting his light blue with Canadian flag singlet coming up in the future. Greg has just recently released on Series 7. He's got this is the normal version, by the way, not the Chase variant. So you can still probably hunt these down easily on eBay or a fellow wrestling figure collector and recreate this match. Then on to WrestleMania 7, match 11. Again, these Manias love to have lots of matches. But it was the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal versus Power and Glory, Paul Roma and Hercules. Now, again, there's only been one Hercules made, and because of Zombie Sailor Toys, Paul Roma will become an action figure. It will be in the retro look. It obviously doesn't have the greatest articulation. Maybe it might get uncensored, or maybe someone will decide to put him in there. He was a member of not the original Four Horsemen, but he was a member of the extended Four Horsemen. So he's definitely needed out there if you want to complete the entire Horseman faction. Personally, I'd love to see more tag teams that are not being tackled, like Power and Glory, Fabulous Rougeaus, the Islanders, or the Head Shrinkers would probably be a more desired one. Of course, the Steiners are the number one's top of everyone's list. But for now, this is what you can. It's not accurate. The Road Warriors, this is from like their LOD 2000 look. Not, as you can see, it's not the proper attire. But then again, neither Hercules nor will Paul Roma be. Well, Paul Roma, he might be. No, he's wearing, you can see closely, that's Hercules dumping him over. But he's in the back, he's wearing tights. Then the 12th match, Virgil versus the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Now, I thought for sure We got Virgil as an exclusive in Mattel. We got Virgil in Jakks Pacific, but he's always wearing the silver attire, servant to Million Dollar Man. The only time he's ever had his singles kind of attire, his either weird tights or the boxing shorts, was Hasbro. Hasbro made a Virgil in that attire. So it is accurate. It would look very funny to do a figure fed type matchup with them because Hasbro, again, very tiny. Jakks Pacific or Mattel, a lot taller. So, I mean, if you want to make Ted feel like he's the Giant Gonzalez, then I guess this would be the only way you can do this match. Now, if you want to be accurate. Of course, if you just use the Mattel version of Virgil or the Jakks, they link up pretty well. But currently, we only have the servant. I'm not going to say butler, but the servant or assistant of Ted DiBiase, Virgil attire. And then match 13 was the Mountie versus Tito Santana. And you can recreate this match. It is accurate. There's the Mountie in Jakks Pacific form. There's Tito in the Hall of Fame. This figure sat on shelves, was a peg warmer, was a meme, a joke in the wrestling figure community. It was like, oh, I went to the store today, all I had was Tito. Unfortunately, though, as time's gone on, Tito's vanished. And now he's actually kind of desired a little bit. He's not like King Harley Race levels, but he's definitely harder to find nowadays because people are gobbling him up. They're using him for customs, or they're throwing a Rick Martel head on there and making themselves a mock Strike Force pairing. But yeah, you could recreate it. It is accurate. And the main event, the WWF World Heavyweight Championship match. The challenger was Hulk Hogan versus the champion Sergeant Slaughter. And I went with the Hogan that's set to debut in this next Survivor Series lineup of this year. Only because it looked very good. I mean, obviously we have a basic Hogan that matches it. We have a Defining Moments Hogan that basically matches it. But here he's more balding, and so I wanted to find a more balding one. It is a figure that is being released, bar any racial comments or something that gets him in trouble again. And of course, there's also Sergeant Slaughter, which is set to come out. And I mean, I've even pre-ordered this one. Now I'm looking at the boots. The boots are a render right now. They might decide to add the deco to that. They might not. But at least 80% of him is correct. He got the red elbow pads. That's from at the time when he was the WWF champion, when he was the Iraqi sympathizer. So you can recreate it. It is accurate. Now let's see what the numbers say. Here are the stats. And the stats. This event cannot be recreated as we are missing one wrestler. Oof. Koji Katao. Love to recreate his no selling. But no, unfortunately, recreating it, we're only at 97%. We were so close to reaching 100. But going forward, I did say I was going to put down the top 3 companies with the most figures that could recreate this. And not just necessarily accuracy, but Mattel had 26 figures, Jakks had 26 figures, and Hasbro had 27 figures at 79%. They were the winner of this time, and I should have put them at top. Going forward, you will see first, second, third. As far as accuracy, hey, we're getting better. We're at 64%. So, WrestleMania 7 had a lot of good accuracy and so close. Just one person on that roster that had to show up that day and never got a figure, and that's Koji Katao. Again, I want to thank you, and don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe and check back soon for the next video. That means WrestleMania 8 will be coming up here shortly. Again, I'm loving the people who've sent some suggestions, some feedback, told me to focus on the wrestling figure aspect and not the history of the pay-per-view itself. Fair enough, I will do that. I'll make sure to ring myself in and don't go too far into those boundaries, because that's something that other people spend their time with. Mine is on the action figure aspect. So if you have any suggestions, if you have any comments, if you liked it, feel free to hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe. I know it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. I'm not going to do a Patreon like that. If I can get 1,000 subscribers one day, and I can get 4,000 watch hours or whatever it is. I plan to make these videos for a long time. Once I finish up the WrestleMania series, which we're only on WrestleMania 7, so I still got 30 more videos to make. I will tackle into the Survivor Series. I'm probably going to do the next one's a Royal Rumble, because I want to. And it's going to be very unique as we go along. After I get all these all caught up and built and whatnot, the Rumbles will take a little longer because 30-minute or 30-man Rumbles. But hopefully you enjoy that one, and hopefully you enjoy these. And again, feel free to subscribe or comment or do whatever. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you at WrestleMania 8.